Heaven is the decision I must make. Heaven is the decision you must make. What's good, fam? Today we are going to be studying lesson 138 of A Course in Miracles. A very powerful lesson we have in our hands today, so go ahead and open up to the lesson. If you don't got the book yet, the PDF is in the description, and let's go ahead and begin. Lesson 138. Heaven is the decision me and you must make. In this world, heaven is a choice, because here we believe there are alternatives to choose between. We think that all things have an opposite, and what we want, we choose. If heaven exists, there must be hell as well, for contradictions is the way we make what we perceive and what we think is real. Creation knows no opposite. But here is opposition part of being real. It is the strange perception of the truth that makes the choice of heaven seem to be the same as the relinquishment of hell. It is not really thus. Yet what is true in God's creation cannot enter here until it is reflected in the same form the world can understand. Truth cannot come where it could only be perceived with fear, for this would be the error. Truth can be brought to illusions. Opposition makes the truth welcome, and it cannot come. Choice is the obvious escape from what appears as opposites. Decision lets one of conflicting goals become the aim of effort and expenditure of time. Without decision, time is but a waste and effort dissipated. It is spent for nothing in return, and time goes by without results. There is no sense of gain, for nothing is accomplished, nothing learned. You need to be reminded that you think 1,000 choices are confronting you when there is really only one to make, and even this but seems to be a choice. Do not confuse yourself with all the doubts that myriad decisions would induce. You make but one. Now, right now, what's popping in my mind is the lesson that we did a few weeks ago, which was let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And that lesson talks about how me and you believe that we have many different problems. We have an issue and problem with finances. We have an issue and problem with relationships, friendships, people, situations, events. It appears in this world that we have a myriad of different problems, when that lesson reminds us that we only really have one problem. So although at the surface in this world it appears that we have many different problems, if we were to look at the root of each one of those different problems, they would all be the same root. And that root is that me and you believe that we are separate from our source. Me and you believe that we are separate from God, although we may not use those words, or someone may not use those words. That is in fact what we believe. And if we were to heal that belief of separation and return to the truth and understand that separation cannot ever exist. Separation is just a belief, but you can never really truly separate who you are from that source. Then you will be back in your right state of mind, and you will see that all those problems you thought you had have just dissipated into the nothingness from which they have arose, because that is the only problem me and you have. Now, this idea that we just read is kind of touching on that topic, but said in a different way. But let's go ahead and read that again, and then we will continue. You make but one, and when that one is made, you will perceive it was no choice at all. For truth is true, and nothing else is true. There is no opposite to choose instead. There is no contradiction to the truth. Choosing depends on learning, and the truth cannot be learned but only recognized. In recognition, its acceptance lies, and as it's accepted, it is known. But knowledge is beyond the goals we seek to teach within the framework of this course. Ours are teaching goals to be attained through learning how to reach them, what they are, and what they offer you. Decisions are the outcome of your learning, for they rest on what you have accepted as the truth of what you are and what your needs must be. In this insanely complicated world, heaven appears to take the form of choice rather than merely being what it is. That's a beautiful way of saying what was just said these last few paragraphs one more time. In this insanely complicated world, heaven appears to take the form of choice rather than merely being what is. So, me and you believe that we can choose between heaven, but with that being said, there must be an opposite, because in this world, me and you live in a world of duality, meaning if there is one, the opposite must also be true, or so we think, anyways, and perceive in this world, meaning hot, cold, up, down, left, right, side, side, front, back, heaven, hell. We believe that we have a choice, when in truth, heaven is just what is. This peaceful state of mind that we have been considering heaven is just what is. There is nothing to defend. This is just truth, and we are either here and experiencing this truth, or we are denying it, but we can never really change it. So today, me and you are learning the lesson which states heaven is the decision I must make. And the reason why that is because heaven is the only choice there is to make. It's not really a choice, it is just the byproduct of what God created, and what God created, it cannot be altered, it cannot be changed, it just is for eternity. It is forevermore, it is everlasting. Heaven just is. It is not a choice. But while me and you are here believing that there are opposites, me and you are here believing in duality, me and you are in this world believing that we have choices, we must make the choice for heaven. And more importantly, today, me and you are remembering that there is really no choice to make. It simply just is, and me and you are choosing whether to be aware of what is or to deny what is. There's really no choice to be made. It is just being awake or being asleep. Let's continue. Of all the choices you have tried to make, this is the simplest, most definitive, and prototype of all the rest. The one which settles all decisions. If you could decide the rest, this one remains unsolved. But when you solve this one, the others are resolved with it. For all decisions but conceal this one by taking different forms. Here is the final and the only choice, in which is truth accepted or denied. Today, me and you have the option to accept truth or to deny truth. Whenever we accept truth, we snap back into our right state of mind, and everything is perfection here. Now, whenever you don't accept this, whenever we deny truth, we can believe that there's options to choose from, when really everything springs forth from the same oneness. There is this oneness that we have been calling God. There is our source and the source of all that is. Now, there's one, and then it bursts out into many. And me and you are here believing that we see a mic, we believe we see a speaker, we believe we see a book, we believe that we see a glass, and we believe that all of these things are meaningful, when in fact they're not. They are simply illusions of our own making, because all there is the oneness that we discuss every now and then, so often. Now, whenever we stop giving meaning to these things and understand that this dust right here that we call highlighter is the same dust that we call speaker, is the same dust that we call glass, is the same dust we call water, is the same dust we call our bodies. Whenever we regard everything as the same, we will see it for what it really is, which is a neutral object in this world that me and you have been ascribing its meaning to. And most likely that meaning that we have been giving to everything, whether it's cars or individuals or clothing or jewelry or materialistic items or whatever it may be, we have been placing our own insecurities on those things, meaning we think that we need those things in order to not feel lack. We think that we need those things and we need to be in the attainment of those things in order to be full and whole, and all these insane illusions, and that is just not how things work around here. We are denying truth when we do that. Whenever we understand that we are already whole, we are perfection as God created us, right here and right now, regardless of what you're wearing, regardless of what your skin color is, regardless of what it appears to be in this world. When you understand that this world is all just a symbol of your own making, and whenever you understand that you are simply love and light, and the same love and light that you are is the same love and light that I am, although I am expressing that love and light in this form that you see as this body, and you're expressing that love and light as I see as that body. Me and you are just different expressions and faces of the same oneness, here to experience ourself in different forms. This glass is just as much of me as I am, as you are. We are all one here. This is a state of mind, again, that we cannot convey with words, but is an experience. And whenever you experience this oneness and your connectedness with all aspects of creation, whether that be an animated human being or whether it be an inanimate object like this glass or a tree or a blade of grass or an insect or whatever it may be, you will understand that you are connected to it all. You are one with all aspects of creation, and there is nothing that does not come from God. There is nothing that does not come from the source that me and you come from, meaning we could think that something outside of ourselves is bad and out to get us, but we are simply denying truth when we do that, because that same thing that we are afraid of actually emerged from the same oneness that me and you emerged from, that me and you are. So we're looking at a different aspect of ourselves with fear, and continuing to do that is going to perpetuate our illusion, and we are not going to wake up and be in this beautiful state of mind where everything works out in our favor, where we are in a heavenly state, where everything flows to us effortless and easy in this world, where things work out, where we express our magnificence and we only see pictured outward magnificence. This state of mind is so beautiful, and I'm sure that you're here with me right now. And if you're not, don't worry, we are going to get here in an instant. It does not take long, it just takes willingness. And when you have that, then you will be blasted back into the state of mind, because again, this is just what is. You can be here if you were not doing anything to resist this state of mind, meaning if you see a cork, right, and a cork is underwater, someone must be holding it, because if they were to let go of it, the cork would bob up, because floating on the surface is its natural state of mind. Same right here. Heaven is what is. It is not really a choice to make. It is just the real world. When you are woke, it is a byproduct of experiencing your full alignment with who you really are. And whenever we're not experiencing this state of mind, it must mean that we are not being who we really are, meaning we are holding our own cork underneath the water, and our emotions of worry, doubt, fear, etc., or even contentment or boredom, those emotions are letting us know that we are adding some resistance. By doing something with this powerful untrained tool of ours, we are adding resistance and therefore blocking ourselves from experiencing all of the love that is here right now. There is nothing needed to experience the state of mind. It is just a recognition and remembrance of what is already here. You are not going to experience this whenever you get your promotion, although that's what people think they are going to experience, and maybe they will, but it is very temporary and conditional, and they need not place that condition on it when they understand that this is just how things always work. People think and people desire things in this world because they want to feel the way we feel right now, in this oneness, this connectedness. But whenever you understand that you can experience this all the time, regardless of what's happening outside of you, then you become no longer needy. You need nothing because you are one with all that is. And when you're in this state of mind, surprisingly and ironically, everything just gravitates towards you. It's so beautiful. So I hope that I did a good job in expressing this experience, but it is something that you are going to have at the end of the day. And it is always here for us. Whenever we're not experiencing this, we need to snap out of it, because this is what we feel like when we are woke. When we are not here, we are asleep. Simply put, that is it. This is not a choice. This is just what is, and we are accepting or denying it. So we begin today considering the choice that time was made to help us make. Such is its holy purpose, now transformed from the intent you gave it, that it be a means for demonstrating hell is real. Hope changes to despair, and life itself must, in the end, be overcome by death. In death alone are opposites resolved, for ending opposition is to die, and thus salvation must be seen as death, for life is seen as conflict. To resolve the conflict is to end your life as well. This is some powerful stuff here. We're not going to dive too deep in. I'm sure we've discussed it many times before, but just hearing this knowledge spoken in different ways is powerful, because whenever we are in a state of mind, although we don't speak these words, now we can. Now me and you are being given the means to express those ideas that are lying beneath our level of awareness when we are asleep, so we can see from a bird's eye view what's really going on. If we're not aware that we're wearing brown glasses, we're going to think the world is brown. Whenever we are aware that we have brown glasses and we would no longer like to see the world as brown, we can remove the glasses. It's very simple. These mad beliefs can gain unconscious hold of great intensity and grip the mind with terror and anxiety so strong that it will not relinquish its ideas about its own protection. It must be saved from salvation, threatened to be safe, and magically armored against truth. And these decisions are made unaware, to keep them safely undisturbed apart from the question and from reason and from doubt. This is the ego's thought system right here, to make sure that this state of mind that we are in, we are unaware of. The ego loves whenever we make decisions and we're not aware that we are making decisions. The ego loves whenever it has a grasp on us, when fear has a grasp on us, because it continues to perpetuate its existence. But remember, the ego is a belief. It has no control over you. You aren't in control of your belief systems. And the ego just so happens to be that wild belief system that took its own route. And whenever we are identifying with the body and with the ego, we think that that's who we really are, when it's not. And we make this wild, insane trail of illusions that we think we're doing something and we're really not accomplishing anything. In truth, we are just going further and further down the rabbit hole. And again, me and you are aware now that we have brown tinted glasses on, and now and only now can we do something about removing those glasses when we are ready to wake up. What's going on right now with majority of the world right now is they're wearing brown tinted glasses, but they're not aware that they are wearing those glasses. They just think the world is brown. And me and you are here. We have removed the glasses. We have gained true vision, and we are not alone in experiencing the effects of our seeing, meaning because we are perceiving with true vision and truth. Now can others be made aware that there is something much greater than brown, and whenever they are willing to learn what it is that me and you are seeing, we can explain to them what we have learned here today, let them know and make them aware that they have brown tinted glasses on, and then they can make the decision for themselves to remove those glasses and be in this heavenly state of mind with us, and they will never want to leave, because there is nothing better than this. I promise you that. Heaven is chosen consciously. The choice cannot be made until alternatives are accurately seen and understood. All that is veiled in shadows must be raised to understanding, to be judged again, this time with heaven's help. And all mistakes in judgment that the mind had made before are open to correction, as the truth dismisses them as causeless. Now are they without effects. They cannot be concealed because their nothingness is recognized. The conscious choice of heaven is as sure as is the ending of the fear of hell, when it is raised from the protective shield of unawareness and is brought to light. Now that bar was powerful and worthy of being highlighted. It states one more time, the conscious choice of heaven is as sure as is the ending of the fear of hell, when it is raised from its protective shield of unawareness and brought to light. When it is raised from the protective shield of unawareness. That's some powerful imagery right there, because all of our illusions are protected by a shield of unawareness, meaning because we are unaware that we are enough and we have everything, because we're unaware of truth, we believe in the illusion because it is being shielded by that unawareness. We believe that we are lacking something. We believe that someone is taking too much of the pie. We believe that we are better than. We believe all these insane thoughts, whether they be ones of not enoughness or grandiosity, but we are simply unaware. And when we are made aware of truth, like we are being made aware right now, then it allows us to make correct decisions. It allows us to be in our right mind when we make decisions and understand that there's really no decision to make. Truth is just truth. And whenever we are asleep, we think we're choosing between one or the other. But when we're awake, we understand that we are simply just exhibiting our perfection effortlessly, because this is just what is. If everyone was in their right state of mind, things would flow so naturally, effortlessly, because that's just how things work. It is unnatural for things to go against the grain, which is what we've been doing our whole lives, putting effort, trying to make things happen because we are trying to compensate for misaligned vibration. In other words, me and you are taking action, trying to make something happen because we think that we want the outcome, but really we're doing it because we are trying to compensate for that misaligned vibration. Whenever we are in our right state of mind, we need to do nothing and we will not be lazy. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not saying that it's all going to flow to you. What I'm suggesting is that whenever you are in your right state of mind, now you are guided in this world on where to go, what to say, and to whom, and you make decisions based off being in your right mind, and things occur as a result of you being in your right mind. Whenever we are not in our right mind, we are making decisions based out of lack and continuing to get more results that are yielding more of the frequency that we took the action from. Whenever you take action from lack, you are going to get results that are lackful. They are not really lackful, but you cannot perceive anything other than lack because that is what you are perceiving from. It's a mind twister, I know, but whenever you have brown tinted glasses on and you're taking action from the brown tints and you're looking to get a blue result, you're not going to get a blue result. Meaning individuals are wearing brown tinted glasses, perceiving with fear, and they are hoping to get a blue result, meaning they are hoping to get a result of this certain outcome. And even if it was in front of their eyes right now, which it is, they will not be able to perceive it because, again, they have the brown tinted lenses on. So let's understand how insane it is when we are not in our right minds, because that's what's going on and we're just unaware of it. And our illusions are being shielded by our unawareness. Let's continue. Who can decide between the clearly seen and the unrecognized? Yet, who can fail to make a choice between alternatives when only one is seen as valuable, the other as a wholly worthless thing, a but imagined source of guilt and pain? Who hesitates to make a choice like this? And shall we hesitate to choose today? We make the choice for heaven as we wake, and spend 5 minutes making sure that we have made the one decision that is sane. We recognize we make a conscious choice between what has existence and what has nothing but an appearance of the truth. Its pseudo being brought to what is real is flimsy and transparent in the light. It holds no terror now, for what was made enormous, vengeful, pitiless, with hate, demands obscurity for fear to be invested there. Now it is recognized as but a foolish, trivial mistake. That's it. Any mistakes that you made in the past are simply that. They are foolish, trivial mistakes. They are not real and they can never change who you really are. Do not be guilty about those things no more. It's time to forgive yourself, because forgiveness is your function as light of the world. So if there's anything that you've done in the past that you knew you could have done better if you were in your right mind, just forgive yourself for that foolish, trivial mistake, because it has no grasp over you unless you continue to be guilty about it, and unless you continue to feel resentful over it, or resentful over what someone else said or did. Whatever the case may be, it has no power unless you give it power. And by forgiving yourself when making that decision and forgiving anyone else involved in the situation, you remove your power from that source of nothingness and you put it back where it belongs, which is in truth. Before we close our eyes and sleep tonight, we reaffirm the choice that we have made each hour in between. And now we give the last 5 minutes of our waking day to the decision with which we awoke. As every hour passed, we have declared our choice again in a brief quiet time devoted to maintaining sanity, and finally, we close the day with this, acknowledging we chose but what we want. Heaven is the choice I must make. I make it now and will not change my mind because it is the only thing I want. Beautifully written lesson, like all of them. We are going to conclude right here. We are going to keep this on our minds for the remainder of our day today and practice as stated. And we will meet here tomorrow for lesson 139 of A Course in Miracles. I will see you there.